Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's staying safe out there in these really crazy times. I thought today would be a good day to release a video about tips on how to clean your pantry. I know I definitely needed to clean my pantry. I probably haven't used it enough. I should say I haven't utilized it in about 2 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. There is no better time to organize than right now, so today I'm tackling my pantry. It has needed some love for quite a while. So today I'll be sharing 5 tips with y'all on how to keep a pantry looking good and organized at the same time. I will say I live with my family, so the section of the pantry that you're gonna see is mostly my things. We do have another pantry that my mom keeps a majority of her items. I have a different diet than everyone else in the household, so I do have other items that usually everyone else doesn't use or eat. So if I open up the cabinets, you can see how much of a mess this is. This is what we're working with right now. Pretty messy, very messy, not organized at all. Tip number 1, to create space, tuck items into one another if possible. A good example would be lunch boxes or containers that you don't use often. I put the lunch boxes up at the top originally because I had so much stuff I didn't think I would have space for them, but later on I moved them, so right now they'll be up here. On the lower level, I put 2 decorative baskets that I had, and I stored trash bags in one and all the liquid items I had in another. I also put all of the plastic utensils we had in a third basket along with my reusable food wraps. If I didn't feel like I was risking my life to go to the store, I probably would have gotten all matching baskets, but because of the circumstances, I challenged myself to not buy anything for this. You shouldn't have to buy really too much to redo your pantry, but if you have baskets laying around, you can totally use those. Hopefully later on I can show you all different ways to make your baskets prettier if you feel like you just don't like how they look in there. But functionality wise, just use whatever you have around the house, especially now. There's no need to go out and buy things. If you have baskets, use them. The shelf above, I put all of my mom stuff, like my bottles and my bags for milk and stuff like that, along with the mason jars I had left over I could use for later. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of mason jars. I love how versatile they can be, along with being able to extend your food's shelf life since it has a tight seal. If you're someone who thinks it's too time consuming to open the cap and the lid for a mason jar, I totally get it. There are other jars and containers on the market that have the same functionality and aesthetic as the mason jars, but are easier to use, and I'll link a couple down that I like below. The pros of having mason jars is that they're everywhere. I have found many at Goodwill. I have seen them, Walmart, anywhere, and they're pretty cheap as well, so if you're on a budget, that helps. The jars and containers I look for are ones that can be functional and ones that are aesthetically pleasing so I can see everything as well. That brings me to my next tip. Make your pantry look like something you want to use. I said earlier I hadn't really used this pantry in a long time. Part of that was because I couldn't see everything, but the other part of that was that I wasn't motivated to go through the pantry to look for certain ingredients. Now that I'm organizing my pantry, I'm more likely to use it. My next tip is to label anything that you can in your pantry. That can be baskets or individual jars like I did. As soon as you don't know what's in your pantry, you will easily forget it. Tip number 4 is baskets. Not every ingredient that you have is going to be able to be put inside mason jars or any type of container. You'll have things like baking soda and coconut oil, and it has their own packaging around it. So what I did for things like that, I just used baskets. I put like items together in different baskets, and you can also label those as well. I didn't with mine just because they were like a textured fabric on some of them. Labeling baskets is also a really good option so you don't forget what you have in there. My last tip for y'all is organize by the expiration date. This will work for when you have a bulk amount of items. I know this takes a little more effort, but it's worth it to not have to throw away money that you don't have to. So since I checked my expiration dates, I had to get rid of a good amount of my food, and it makes me sad. This is why I'm encouraging you to do it, so we don't have to waste any more food. I know I'm guilty of it, but I really do think organizing your pantry is a great idea, especially right now. On the bottom shelf, I just put all of the extra mason jars that I have. Next to it, I just put the lunch boxes that I did put at the top originally. On this shelf, I decided to put my spices and my dish rags into these clear containers so that they're easy to see. I had so many spices when I started cleaning this out that I thought I needed more containers for them, but turns out most of them were expired. What's left in this container is all that I have. At the top, I decided to store all my bulk items like my milk and my sugar and stuff like that. I organized the milk by the expiration date as well. My mom also had a bunch of skewers and ashtrays, so I just stuck them up here because those are used very, very rarely. And that's it. Hope you can use these tips and utilize them in your own pantry. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you follow my Instagram account that's dedicated to this channel, that would mean so much to me. All of that will be down below, and I'll see y'all next time.